What's going on, everyone? This video, as you've seen, going over 5 cheap project cars for broke college students like myself. First thing I want to mention is the results may vary within different areas. I'm going off my area, and the cars may be different than yours. It's not the same, but in general sense, the cars might be similar. So just want to let that be known. We're going off 3 categories: price, aftermarket availability, and reliability. First off, price, going about 3, 4, 5k, about 5k being the max, because after that it's like, then it's not really cheap anymore. Then it's like, okay, you have enough money to get something decent, like a so we're looking for cheap project cars. I'm talking about 3, 4k, 5k being the top end. Next, aftermarket availability. A lot of cars out there don't have many parts for them, so we're trying to look at, do these cars have enough stuff you can do to them that is built already out there for you to purchase and put together. And lastly is reliability. At the end of the day, you gotta get to point A to point B, so these cars gotta be reliable and able to take you where you need to go. So lastly, speed is irrelevant. You ain't gonna be going nowhere with these cars. I mean, not like they're just trying to get something fun, it don't gotta be crazy, just something fun, right? Without further ado, let's get into these 5 cars and elaborate on what makes them a solid project car for broke college students.
Show love, nigga.
Alright, so the first car on this list I have here is 2005 Subaru Impreza 2.5 RS all-wheel drive. This vehicle, it is a manual, so kind of deters a lot of people off, and that's the one downside to this car, is it being a manual, but everything else is really solid and I can't say anything bad about it, honestly. What we see here, right, is an all-wheel drive like dirt machine. Like, even though it's 4-cylinder, that boxer engine, it's still really powerful. I think it comes with 277 horses. That is quick. For $2,600, that is some speed. I'm not gonna lie, that is a real good value. For $2,600 for around 200 horses, that's actually really kind of insane. I'm not gonna lie. As for aftermarket availability, it's actually up there. Subarus, everyone has a Subaru. Everyone has a Subaru, so there's parts everywhere. So you don't even have to worry about aftermarket availability with a Subaru Impreza. Like, I mean, you're fine. In that terms, everybody, just so many forums, so many people have Subaru Imprezas. That's like the go-to. So in this condition, this is a great deal in my opinion. And lastly, reliability. It could be worse. Subarus are known for having kind of a few issues with the motor, with the boxer engine, but other than that, there's been 5 recalls on these Subarus, as we can see. The only major issue is the airbags. That is the thing, is the airbags with the Subaru Impreza 2.5 all-wheel drive, is the airbags. But besides that, it's pretty good. As we can see, customer reviews 4.8 out of 5 stars from 200 reviews. That's pretty solid. That's solid. This is a cool car, honestly. Only real downside is it being a manual, but that could be a good side too. If you're trying to learn manual or you know how to drive manual, then this is a perfect car for $2,600. 150,000 miles is a lot, but I mean, this is a project car. I mean, you know what you're getting for this much. So first spot, Impreza, it's solid. Definitely really cool car. Next vehicle on this list is here, a 2007 Ford Focus ZX4. Really cool car, honestly, in my opinion. It might look a little bland to some of you guys, but I feel like a lot can be done with this car. It's an old Ford Focus, one of those you've seen maybe in like Juice 2 or something like that. It's an older Ford Focus. It's a little rough, I'm not gonna lie, but that's what you do. That's why you fix it, and that's how you make it look pretty, right? It's very bland. It's white, giving you room to make it your own. As we see, front wheel drive, it's good for the driving. They're not gonna spin out. 4-cylinder, you're not gonna get a ton of power on these cars. 79,000 miles, not bad at all. Clean title. It's automatic, so for everyone that doesn't know how to drive manual, it's a solid car off the rip. Sedan, pretty cool. Good tires. It's all around good. Everything is fine. Nothing's wrong with it. That's a one thing. That's the first major good thing about this, is nothing's wrong with it. It gets a Ford Focus. Ford's reliable off the rip, so not too bad. Aftermarket availability. That's the only thing about this, is you would have to go with something clean, like a real clean build, like throw some coilovers, change the rims up, make the paint look nice, put some good tires on it. Just stuff that's universal to like every car, because there's not much for a Ford Focus in this year model. Not much at all, honestly. So you kind of don't have much to work with that much, but Again, you can make it look nice. I'm not gonna lie, it's not like you can't. There's so many universal things you can do and just make it, you know, solid. Change the rims up, change the tires up, drop it. Maybe add like a little lip to the back, maybe. I mean, there's some things you can make it. You can go for a clean build with this thing and still make it look pretty good. You know, there's a lot you can do, but not a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? So it's reliable. It's a Ford. Not many issues with it. As we see, it's pretty good among us. There's not many issues with this car. Nothing comes up. No, one safety recall, and that was because the headlights, the exterior lighting, the headlights, and it only affected 2,000 cars. There wasn't many recalls on these. It's a Ford. It's reliable, and you know, it can be like some stuff can be done to it. So I think this is another good pick. Maybe not as good as the Impreza, but the Impreza is manual. So that being said, it's a cool car. Let's keep it pushing. I bet you guys expected this one, the tried and true, the Honda Civic. Now it's a very interesting pick. Very great deal in terms of price. $1,100 for a 99 Honda Civic. Yes, it looks pretty wild. It's not very appealing. It's not a looker. At least this model in this condition, really not. But for $1,100, you get a 4-cylinder Honda Civic. It's not really, nothing's wrong with it apparently. Again, you have to check it out on your own, but doesn't look too bad. Like, there's nothing glaringly wrong with it. There's the bumper's a little mismatched color. A lot of things look ugly about it, for sure. But as long as it gets to point A to point B, we'll worry about the looks later, right? So, automatic, it's a coupe, 200K on the odometer. That's a lot. That is a whole lot. So again, very risky. It's you give and take, right? $1,100 is like nothing. Not nothing, but very, very cheap on the very low end. And you get what you pay for. But in this case, I feel like it's a decent deal. I mean, it can be. It's not too bad. Condition fair is you know, I agree with that statement. In terms of modability, you know, aftermarket parts, availability of aftermarket parts. It's a Honda Civic. It's a Honda Civic, fellas. Look at this. It's literally every Honda Civic has every part in the world. You can't ask for another car that has the amount of customization ability of a Honda Civic. There's parts everywhere. Whether they're good or bad, I don't know, but there's parts for it. And there's so much that can be done to a Honda Civic, from like a clean build like this, pretty crispy, to like something wild like that. Like there's so much that can be done to a Honda Civic. That's out the park. 10 out of 10 on the being able to customize a Honda Civic. You know what I'm saying? So, and reliability. It's a Honda Civic. Do I need to say more? Nah, this thing is it's a bulletproof. A Honda Civic is bulletproof. It will last you forever. There's a reason it lasts 200,000 miles. I don't know how much it got left in it, but Honda Civics are bulletproof. Honestly, this might be the best pick. I might have to. Well, we'll see. We'll see, right? Honda Civic, $1,100 for a 99 Civic. Tons of stuff you can do to it. It's super reliable. It's a Honda Civic. It made 199,000 miles. So you know it's fine. It can survive. And the price, $1,100. Again, it's a risky pick because it needs a lot of work done to it, you know, to make it not look like a clown car. But for what you get for $1,100, I don't think you can go wrong. So Honda Civic, third pick. Keep it pushing. Okay, so for our fourth car, we have a 2003 Ford Crown Victoria, tried and true police car. It's been around forever. You really can't go wrong with a Crown Vic, I'm not gonna lie. Only downside is it's a really long car, really large car. That could be an upside too, though. Depends on what you like, I guess. So a Crown Vic, you get a V8, you get a big V8 for like 3, 4, 5 grand. So $3,500 for a Crown Vic, I think that's a pretty decent price. You can find them a little cheaper than this, but 35 is about the average. You get a big block V8 and you get a V8 for 35. That's pretty good. Rear wheel drive, all that power's going to the rear wheels. 150,000 miles. It's up there. It's definitely up there. Yeah, like I said, it's a full-size car. It's a big boy. Automatic. It's got a decent amount of power. I think about 220, 230. Really not that much. But it can be upped. Since it's that motor's, I think it's was in Mustangs. I'm pretty sure that same engine was in Mustang, so there's tons of parts. I mean, I'm not trying to skip to that yet, but price, like I said, $3,600 for a V8 is not bad. really isn't. Automatic, it's not a bad call at all, in my opinion, right? Again, these are all in my opinion, right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not a mechanic. So 3,600 for a V8, I think that's a good deal. I think that's pretty solid. In terms of parts and, you know, modding it, it can be done. The motor is the most important part. The outside, I don't think you can do too much to it. Just the basic, you know, stuff that can be done to like any car almost. At the rims, tires, you know, shocks, coilovers, stuff like that. But the motor is in Mustangs, so all those parts that Mustangs can use can be sent to the Crown Vic as well. So you can get a lot of juice out of that V8 that's in there. There's a lot you can do to that V8. So that's the good thing. You can get a nice amount of power out of these Crown Vics. And that's a really big upside. A lot of these other cars on this list don't have, since a lot of these motors are some are complicated, some are, you know, 4 cylinders. There's not much you could do to up the power like that without spending a ton of money. These V8s are the same ones that are in Mustang. So the parts, like, there's tons of parts available and tons of way to make power with these big block V8s. So again, that's the best upside, I think, for the Crown Vics, is the amount of power you could make for not too much money, in my opinion. And in terms of reliability, cops use these they used to, they don't use them no more, but that's how you know they're reliable. I mean, there's not much wrong with these things. Again, Ford makes, you know, solid cars. They make reliable cars. I think it'll last you a while. I made it 150, probably go push 250 maybe. Like, it'll last. Like, these motors are bulletproof, very bulletproof. Look at these reviews. Just, you'll be fine, you'll be straight. Very reliable. Power, not that many parts visually. I don't think you can do much to it besides, I mean, you can make it look nice though. You can make Crown Vic look nice. Look at this beauty right here. That's nice. That's crispy. And then the engine, there's lots of parts. It's the same motor as Ford Mustangs used during this time, like 2003, 4, 5 Mustangs at a time. So for 3,500, big block V8, not a bad call at all, in my opinion. It's a very large car, so if you don't like large cars, then maybe it's not it for you. But hey, get a V8. You can get a big block V8 for 36. So let's get out. That being said, let's keep going to the last one. And finally, the last car on this list, 2003 BMW 530i. These, I feel like I don't like including these because it's a BMW, and the parts to repair these things if something goes wrong is insane. It's a BMW. I mean, you know this coming in, right? In terms of price, 1,500. It's really cheap, right? For sure, but I just don't like that the parts are gonna run you a ton of money if something goes wrong. So I wouldn't personally look into this because it's just I think it's a bad decision. But there's always people that see these cheap, you know, BMWs, Audis, you know, maybe Porsches even. These, you know, these German cars, these foreign cars that, you know, they look really cool for cheap, but the parts to repair them are super expensive. So it's like, it's really almost not worth it. But I will cover this one because I think it's a cool car. It's an older car, and it's not that expensive off the rip. They're not charging me $6,000 for, you know, wait for me to pay another $7,000 later. 1,500, so it's not too bad. Let's get to the looks of the car. I mean, it's an old BMW. It doesn't look bad at all. I think it looks clean. Sure, it's, you know, it needs some work. Like, you know, the headlights are really yellow. They need to be cleaned up. You know, the rims, a lot of things can be cleaned up. But you clean this thing up, you know, fix, you know, get that scratch maybe out of there. But you clean this thing up, put some work into it, and you can get it looking clean. It's an old school BMW. It's pretty nice. It runs and drives a check engine light, which is not good at all. But as you get what you pay for, right? 142,000 miles. Got a V6 in it. Apparently, I didn't know 530i's came with V6s, but apparently they do. So not too bad. Rear wheel drive. This thing could be a little drift missile, to be honest. 530i, pretty nice. In terms of parts and performance, there's stuff that can be found for this thing. Shocks, tires, rims, you know, brakes, clutch, you know, there's you know, exhaust. There's stuff that can be done to this thing. Not too bad. There's some cool 530i builds. I mean, they're similar to like to the M3 E30s. They're similar a little bit, the same body style, not as nice though, but still you can do a lot to this thing. I mean, just picture this. There's a lot you can do with this. Drop it. Just honestly, every car looks better nice dropped a little bit. Not crazy, not like, you know, where the wheels are like, you know, chicken wing out, you know, but dropped a little bit. It looks pretty clean. So still stuff that can be done. It's a really cool project car in my opinion. I would definitely love something like this. But then it's like the parts, it's like it pulls me in. It's a BMW and it's cheap and it's cool, but it's like, you know, it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg later, so you gotta think about that. In terms of reliability, apparently it's pretty solid. Pretty solid. I'm not like I said, not no mechanic. It's just my opinion. but apparently it's pretty straight. I mean, it doesn't seem like too bad. Apparently, I mean, these are all like pretty good reviews. Thing is, it's like when something happens, you're gonna be paying a lot for it, and something's bound to happen. You're not gonna have no repairs on a car. So that's just not how it is usually. Like I said, I like this 530. It's just a risky deal. If you're cool with paying a lot of decent amount of money for parts later on, I guess you just cop this. Well, alright, that's been the video. My 5 picks. Again, I'm not a mechanic or not. I'm just going off what I think might be a cool project car to have that you can still look pretty solid with, right? Not what's that thing called, like a Chevy Volt or something, you know what I mean? Something that looks pretty cool, that's cheap, that can be your first car. Like, it's probably gonna be mine. I was thinking, I'm researching cars anyway, might as well do a video on it, right? I mean, so yeah, if you enjoy, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, do your thing, check my other stuff out. I'm just going off the top, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.